Hail Muvi Chilungamo, hello. Hail Muvi Chilungamo, hello. We must always praise Muvi Chilungamo because it's the only institution that disseminates and distributes nothing but the truth. Good afternoon, citizens. Our Muvi of today, the spears of truth of today are 7, but before we go there, we want to comment or say something about the speech, audio speech of President Peter Mutharika in Parliament today. We are very much appalled and disappointed and worried on the speech of Mr. Peter Mutharika because this speech wants to incite violence, this speech wants to incite injustice, this speech wants to incite what we call lawlessness. Malawi is a constitutional country. It's a statecraft that it contains or that has 3 arms of government. One is the executive, where Mr. Peter Mutharika and cabinet are coming from. And there's an arm of legislature where parliamentarians are, including the Speaker of the House. Then there's a judiciary. The judiciary is headed by the Chief Justice with judges there. These 3 arms makes what we call a government. And these 3 arms have got their own duties, respectively. They have got separate powers. Parliament's job is to make laws. The job of the judiciary is to translate laws. The job of the executive is to implement whatever is made in these 2 houses. I mean, in these 2 institutions. Now, we are wondering to hear that Mr. President, the TPEX president of Malawi, Mr. Peter Mutharika, caretaker, he is accusing the judiciary, a separate arm of government, that they have to be accountable. Because Parliament is held accountable, because the executive is held accountable, now Mr. Mutharika wants the judiciary to be accountable. In this case, he said, the only person that cannot be accountable is God. Fellow citizens, this is the politics we are talking about. Earthly things, earthly matters. Why should we involve God? Because these 3 houses are supposed to hold each other accountable. Parliament can hold accountable to the executive. Executive can hold accountable to Parliament. But when it comes to laws of the country, judiciary has to hold accountable to these 2 houses. And who should hold the judiciary accountable? It's even these very 2 houses. The question is, has Parliament at one time found the judiciary wanting? The answer is no. Has the executive found the judiciary wanting? No, because they tried. The executive under Mr. Peter Mutharika went to court to sue the judgment of the lower court, High Court, that's Constitutional Court. And the Supreme Court received. In other words, the executive was trying to hold the judiciary accountable, and they did this. That's why the matter went to Supreme. I want you to understand the word Supreme. Supreme means the sitting, the last on top. The executive went to hold the judiciary accountable by appealing to the Supreme Court. And they did that. Chief Justice, knowing that this is a serious matter, if it's being held accountable by the executive, that means that we need to put more emphasis on the judicial system. They instituted 7 different judges. We are talking about Supreme Court judges, Malawians. The Supreme Court judges went through the judgment of the lower court, 5 judges, and they unanimously came with one conclusion, that the lower court, comprising of 5 judges, was not wrong. It was right in their judgment. Therefore, they even added, elections were not supposed to be conducted in 150 days, rather 60 days. They even added, there was supposed to be no government in place. There was supposed to be an institution of interim government or caretaker government, because one of the players here is a benefactor of this process that was erroneously realized that it was illegal. But they said since the lower court demanded that it can be as it is, they left the status quo as it was. The question is, why should Mr. Peter Mutharika today, without even presenting himself in the parliament, or just presenting in the audio, come and blame the Constitutional Court judges as well as the Supreme Court of Judges? The question is, Mr. Mutharika is telling the country that he's the only wisest man out of all these three arms. That's what he says, telling the country. And we argue, no. There's no intelligent man under the law. There's no one man that is more wiser than the system of government that is in place. That's the judiciary, that's the executive, and that's the legislature. These three arms are more intelligent than one man. Therefore, we condemn the speech of the president in parliament today. We condemn strongly because he is trying to incite injustice. He is trying to incite violence. He is trying to incite lawlessness in Malawi. Now, as Muvi Chilungamo will repeat, from the foundation of our nation, from the foundation of our statecraft in 1964, no president has ever incited violence, lawlessness, or illegality. For this, we talk to you, Parliament. You have been summoned to make things that were wrong right. And we tell you what is right, Parliament. What is right is what the judges say, 12 of them. And what is required here is for Malawi to bring itself back to normalcy. How do we get there? Fresh elections must be done within the confines of 150 days, as required by the courts. If we are going for elections, Malawi will come back to normalcy. There will be law, there will be legalization, there will be legality, there will be a government of the people, for the people, by the people, in place, because Malawians will have chosen the leader of their choice. Therefore, if you listen to the president in that house and you do something that is against the laws of our country, you also be held in contempt of the court. I'm talking to you 193 people. And you are likely to lose your positions if you are held accountable and if you're held in contempt of court. Because nobody has the power to offset or misjudge what the court has said. Therefore, we order you that you quickly put a date of fresh elections in place. And we tell you again, County number 1 has got money that can run these elections. Because these elections is not a normal procedure. It is an emergency procedure. After the court said we don't have a government. After the court said we have messed up a nation. Now we need money to bring our country back on its feet so that development can move, politics can move, businesses can run, human lives can move on. That is the comment that we can make as Muvi Chilungamo on the speech of the president. We just want to add something a bit there. Mr. Mutharika did not attend the parliament because he said that he's afraid of coronavirus. The business of the country, the business of the government demands that it has to run. Meaning, parliament must be held with or without coronavirus. Now, if Mr. Mutharika says he cannot come because of his safety, what about you who are in that house? How about your lives? What is the safety of your lives? Now, I want to ask you as a Muvi Chilungamo, when it comes to patriotism of a country, people who care for their nation, who is more careful about Malawi between you, parliamentarians, and President Peter Mutharika? Because in this case, President Peter Mutharika is betraying the nation for his own personal safety. If he was a leader of the country, he could sacrifice his life to come and attend with you. Because any consequence that happens to you as parliamentarians, he should be the first because he's the leader of the country. And this perhaps brings us to campaign. Malawians are not ready to choose a leader who don't care for them. Malawians are not ready to choose a president who thinks about his life only, not the country. In this situation, Malawi is at crossroads now. The country is not moving. Economy, social life. Everything has stopped. There's a need for a president who sacrifices his personal life for the nation. By failing to attend SONA, by failing to address August House, Mr. Mutharika has declared himself that he don't care for Malawi. Your judgment is as good as mine. Thank you. Today's movies are as follows. I want to speak to media houses of Malawi. Zodiac, Times Radio, MBC, and other private radios. Malawi is hungry and thirsty of information. Malawi is hungry and thirsty for information. Our country has collapsed because Malawians don't know, don't understand the truth. Lack of information has made Malawi to be choosing wrong people. Lack of information has made Malawians not to be able to choose a government that they need. Therefore, Muvi Chilungamo is born freely. We don't charge anybody. We don't get government to fund our activities. We do it for free, patriotic mind for our nation. You are supposed to take the same information, give it to me, Malawians. Therefore, we demand and ask you, you should have 10 minutes or 15 minutes of your time, disseminate information that Muvi Chilungamo gives you to the Malawians so that they can make informed decisions. It is not about politics, who should be voted into power or no, but it's about Malawians understanding their mechanism of governance. It is about Malawians knowing what a government is all about. It is about Malawians to know what they call accountability of their leaders. Muvi Chilungamo disburses that information. Muvi Chilungamo disseminates that information. Muvi Chilungamo gives that information. It has to reach each and every corner. We have done our best. You are supposed to help us to disseminate to the public. That is our appeal. Because Malawi is dead in information dissemination. We Malawians don't know true information. Instead, they are told propagandas that they believe. Why do I say this? I want to say this. I'm not supporting any party, but I just want to tell you the truth. People of Namwera blocked the road yesterday, talking in Yao language that you will not pass here, Mr. Jirima, if you cannot talk to us.